Once, in a small village, there lived a family that raised cattle. Every morning, they would tend to the farm and take care of the animals that sustained them. One morning, the father of the family asked his eldest son, a strong and able young man, to go out and work on the farm. "Son, it's time to go to the farm," the father said, expecting his son to rise early and get to work. But instead, the son looked out the window, his face filled with dread. "Father, I'll go tomorrow. It's absolutely impossible today." His voice was shaky as he added, "There's a lion outside. If I go out now, I'll be killed." The father looked out, seeing no lion, but he remained calm. "There's no lion, my son. It's safe." But the son was convinced. "Father, 10 lions came last night and ate our cattle. I'm too scared. Please let me stay home today." The father, patient as ever, let his son rest for the day. But the next morning came, and again, the father asked, "Son, today you must go to the farm. The cattle need tending." "Father, I was ready to go today," the son said, his voice again filled with excuses. "But now the biggest lion I've ever seen is waiting at the front door. I'll go tomorrow, I promise." Tomorrow came and went, and still the son didn't go to the farm. Every day, a new excuse followed. "Last night, father, a lion killed a man from the village. I saw it with my own eyes. It was huge. Too dangerous to go out today." Another day passed. "Father, I need a gun to fight off the lion. Without one, I can't go outside." As each day passed, the young man became more paralyzed by his fear. He trembled at the thought of lions lurking outside, convincing himself they were always waiting for him. He imagined the danger so vividly that the fear became real in his heart. But here's the irony. While the eldest son was consumed by this imaginary danger, his younger sister played outside every day. She laughed and ran with her friends, completely unafraid. She tended to the cattle, helped with chores, and came home safely each evening without a single scratch. How could this be? Why was the son frozen by fear, while his younger sister lived freely, unharmed? The answer is simple. The lions only existed in his mind. Day by day, the son's imagination grew wilder. He began to see lions in every shadow, behind every tree, lurking at every corner. His heart raced, his hands trembled, and soon he stopped leaving the house altogether. His fear consumed him. What had begun as an excuse to avoid work had now turned into a cage he couldn't escape. There's a saying in the Bible, the lazy man says, "There's a lion outside. I shall be slain in the streets." Proverbs 22:13. Just like the son in this story, many of us create imaginary lions in our lives. When faced with a challenge, be it work, a new opportunity, or a difficult decision, we often invent reasons to avoid it. We tell ourselves that failure is certain, that danger is near, that we're not ready. But are these threats real, or are they just products of our imagination? The son wasn't lazy because he didn't want to work. He was lazy because he was afraid. He let fear dictate his choices, keeping him locked inside, avoiding the world. But the truth is, the lions he feared never existed. He had allowed his imagination to paralyze him. Meanwhile, his younger sister lived freely because she didn't create lions in her mind. She saw the world as it was, not as a place filled with invisible threats, but as a place to explore, to grow, and to thrive. Have you ever stopped yourself from trying something new because you feared the outcome? Maybe you've delayed starting a project, putting off a conversation, or taking that leap, all because of the lions in your head. We all have lions like that, lions of self-doubt, lions of fear, lions of failure. But here's the truth. If we continue feeding these fears, they grow stronger. And just like the sun, we'll find ourselves stuck, afraid to step outside our comfort zones. So what's the solution? How do you overcome the lions in your life? The answer is simple but powerful. Face your fears. Step outside, just like the young daughter did. Take the first step, even if it's small. Because in reality, the lions are not as big as we think. And more often than not, they aren't there at all. When you confront your fears, they lose their power. You'll realize that the things you feared most were just shadows in your mind. Just like the sun, we all have a choice. Will we let imaginary fears control our lives? Or will we take control, step outside, and see that the world is not as dangerous as we imagined? Remember, if you do nothing, you will gain nothing. But if you overcome your vague fears, you will discover that there are no lions waiting outside, only opportunities waiting for you to seize them. So, ask yourself, are you paralyzed by imaginary lions, or are you ready to step out and conquer your fears? The world is waiting.